Hello, can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear you, Jordan.
Great, I can hear you too. I will mute myself until I have more things to say.
Okay. A pretty girl like you, you won't be by yourself, right?
For those attending virtually right now, we're just waiting on a couple members from the Human Services Commission to get here hopefully soon, so we can have a quorum and able to have this meeting today. Tiffany does come from y'all. Hi, for those waiting online, we do have a member of our commission that should be here in about 10 minutes, so we're hoping to get started around 3:20.
Sounds good. Thank you for letting us know. I'm glad someone's on the way.
There you go.
We're
Dawn, we have a spot for you right over here.
You're right over here.
What happens
We
when?
wanted to stand and clap when we came in.
We're gonna start the meeting.
Yeah, but what happens when Tiffany arrives? So, yeah. All right, great. Hey, thanks everybody for being patient. We're gonna go ahead and start this Human Services Commission meeting for Wednesday, July 1st, 2026. The time is 3:11. The first thing I want to do is take a roll call of the commissioners that are here today. Myself, Brandon Stevens, I am present. In the building, we have Nancy Dila,
Present.
John Grossom,
Present.
and Jennifer Zhang. Online, Angelina Goldwell. Is she, Angelina, present, thank you. Excuse today, we do have Dahlia Martinez, and right now Lester's Dixon is absent. And hopefully Tiffany Walker will be coming in shortly, but right now absent as well. We always start our meeting by reading the land acknowledgement. We, the city of Lacey, are on the ancestral land of the tribal people of the Treaty of Medicine Creek, including the Nisqually Indian Tribe and Squaxin Island Tribe. We acknowledge and remember those tribal people not recognized today who were absorbed or relocated into other tribes for survival. We recognize the ancestors and the descendants who are still here. We recognize and respect the tribal people of the Treaty of Medicine Creek as the traditional stewards of this land since time immemorial, and their role today in taking care of these lands in perpetuity. We recognize and have the responsibility to call to attention the histories of dispossession, forced removal, and abridged treaty rights that allowed our nation, state, and city to develop as they have today. We recommend that the community members read the Medicine Creek Treaty of 1854. Next, I wanted to move that, well, can we have someone move to approve the agenda, previous meeting minutes, and consent items from June 4th?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Oh, great. So, if there's any discussion about that at this time? No? Okay, great. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Angelina?
Aye.
Aye, great. Those pass. Next, we're gonna move on to public comment. I don't see that there was anybody pre-registered to speak via Zoom or here today that isn't part of the public comment or signed up for what we have going on later in this meeting. So from that, we'll go ahead and move on to our 2026 Human Services Grant Application presentations with an introduction from Michelle Chavez.
Thank you, Chair Stevens. Thank you everyone for being here today. I'm Michelle Chavez. I'm the Human Services Coordinator. You all have been getting lots of emails from me and thank you for being patient with us and with kind of the scheduling of this. So every year, the city puts aside the 300,000 in general fund dollars to go to nonprofits in the community who are doing direct service to help people. And the process goes, it's a competitive application. And part of that process, we allow people the opportunity to come and talk to our commissioners about their programs and projects that they want to get funded. So that's why you're all here today. We did have 29 applicants this year. We have spread out the presentations over 2 days, just so that it's not so long and to give people more of a fair, peaceful experience. We're not having to wait for hours and hours to get up to present. So we have 15 presentations today, and then we'll have 14 presentations tomorrow. Same place, same time, same channel. Today, most of the folks are in person. We do have 2 people that are online that have scheduling issues where they weren't able to come in person. And so just wanted to give you a summary. Again, we had 300,000 this year we can allocate to the community. We had 29 applications. The maximum award we can do for public service is 30,000, and the maximum amount we can award for a capital brick and mortar project is 50,000. And the 3 priority areas this year are affordable housing, homelessness prevention, youth services, and behavioral health services. So we had our applications were open from June 3rd to June 26th. We held a workshop for people that are interested in applying on June 9th via Zoom, and then we posted the workshop recording online. And then there was a question and answer period where I was able to go in and write up all the answers that were in the chat, and then we published that online as well. And then we also posted the rubric so folks can see how the commissioners will be scoring the different answers to the questions. So we had received a total of $858,012 in requests for that 300,000. And we received 14 new applicants this year, so we are happy about that. We want to make sure that we're getting the word out there and we're getting people and where people are hearing about the program. We had 27 service-based projects applications, and then we had 2 capital project applications. So there is a table in the staff report that included the applications, how much they requested, and their assigned presentation date. And also in the staff report, there was a proposed timeline. So the next steps is today and tomorrow are the presentation dates. Then, the commissioners will have until June 21st, give you lots of time because there's such a volume this year of applicants. So I'm gonna give you over 2 weeks to look and score and look at all those applications. Then August 6th, we will reconvene at our regularly scheduled meeting. And I'll compile all the scores and bring that back to you for the August 6th meeting. And that will again be part of the public agenda, part of the least public agenda. We'll talk to the city council. So you all make a recommendation, hopefully in August, on what you think should be funded. And then I will bring your recommendation to the city council in September. And then hopefully they will approve your recommendation. They do have the authority to change the recommendations if they want to. Traditionally, they haven't made a lot of tweaking at that stage. So we hope to begin the program year in September. So folks who were getting awards we would start that contracting process. And that's the process of getting insurance and making sure that the attorneys all sign off on the contracts and things like that. So that's kind of where we're at. We're kind of in the beginning process of this. So we're just gonna go through the staff on the agenda, or the presentations listed on the agenda in order of how they're listed. And each person or agency will have 5 minutes to present, and then we'll give the commissioners 5 minutes to ask questions. And hopefully I've got all the people who sent me slides queued up. And it's not required to have slides. A lot of people have done, just oral presentations, or, if you bring handouts, we will scan them into the public record so that the community can see the handouts as well as the commission. So we'll get started.
Yeah,
We'll let the
thanks.
chair run the,
Real quick, before we get started, I just wanted to thank everybody for coming in today. We know that obviously the need definitely exceeds what we can provide from the city of Lacey. And we know everybody in the nonprofit and, in the human services field in general is really tapped in. Even though our members, some of them aren't here, they will be able to, they're gonna need to vote, and score a Rubik's, but we have it all recorded, so don't think because they're not here that your presentation doesn't mean anything to them, because it really does. This is super helpful for us. And it's just a really hard thing for us to do, to have to pass that out, but we just want you guys to know how much it really means to us for you to be here. So with that being said, our first presenters today is Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and they're in person. So Keith and Campbell. Keith and Ann?
My name's Keith Ann, this is Blake.
Blake, we don't have you down. Thank you,
Some
Blake.
report and extra.
Second.
I'm gonna make this small. Very small. Smaller, I guess. Technology. Yeah, I'll try to make it smaller. Maybe I can hide it once it's done. Okay,
Yeah, maybe once you start, you can minimize it.
Yeah.
Does it give us a bell when it?
Yeah,
when
it
it's
does.
done? And-
so thank you for being here. I'm gonna hit start and then I'm gonna minimize it, so it's not part of your presentation.
You have to start it.
I thought I did start it.
Did you?
Yeah.
We're gonna restart it now. Just,
let's click to the next, or does it automatically click?
It's, you should be able to advance it with the little arrow.
Okay.
Snap share and then see if we can find it. Let's hit stop share. And then see if we can find it again. There it is, it's gone.
okay, let's go ahead and restart that from then.
There we go.
Right.
Now just hit start. We could do the share again.
This is, there we go. That's this one, right?
Yeah. Just hit share. Now we're screen sharing. Okay, so I'll just start it and I'll make it small.
Let's see it go down.
All right,
Yep.
sorry about that.
Thanks, Ann.
We're still learning.
Well, every day we learn.
Okay.
Same. Again, we are Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southwest Washington. And we are here to talk about our site-based mentorship program.
Real quick, Tiffany's just about to walk in too, so.
Is it advancing now? I can click it.
Thank you. We have 240 agencies nationwide. We are self-run here in Southwest Washington for over 40 years. We have been here, and we serve 300 youth plus each year in 5 counties: Thurston, Mason, Pacific, Grays Harbor, and Lewis. And our mission is to create and support one-to-one mentoring relationships that ignite the power and promise of youth. So the challenge today is 1 in 3 youth grow up without a positive role model. And many face widening gaps in mental health, opportunity, and stability. We have over 100 children on our wait list right now. And without that guidance, youth are more likely to struggle in school and engage in risky behaviors and lose confidence. In 2025, there was a community health assessment done by Multicare and the local health department. And the main priority that they recognized was mental health crisis and substance abuse risk. And this, one of the second one was youth safety in this area. And this is the contributing factors for all of our problems in health in Thurston County. The highest health need that they recognized is the fact that many youth and adults reported having anxiety, depression, and thoughts of suicide. And that is significant. It is especially significant in the BIPOC community and the LGBTQ plus IA community. And that was the highest health need in Thurston County. The percent of eighth graders who experience depressive feelings, the really sad part up there is Thurston County is higher than the rest of Washington State. And you'll notice the biggest bars where it shows how depressed they are in the BIPOC, transgender, and LGBTQIA communities. And the percent of eighth graders who actually thought about suicide, again, Thurston County was higher than the rest of Washington. And the transgender and LGBTQIA was significantly higher than the others. So the solution is mentorship. One of the solutions, we look at it like a river where we are trying to help them at the top of the river before they fall down in depression and all of the results from not having mentorship. There is improved mental health relationships and an academic improvement in performance. Studies show the National Institute of Justice rates our program as effective in statistically significant reduction of drug and alcohol and substance abuse. And every dollar invested returns that value in 7 years. Our programs that we have here in Thurston County are our traditional community-based program and site-based program. And site-based is where we match high school bigs with middle school littles. And then we have career mentoring. Specifically in Lacey, we have a partnership with North Thurston Public Schools that we have had for over 25 years. And that is where we bring high school bigs to the North Thurston Public School middle schools. And that is what we were looking into funding. Our outcomes from 2025 in North Thurston Public Schools alone show 88% of those children avoided risky behaviors like school discipline, substance abuse, and bullying. And mentorship pays big dividends. Studies show that when you invest dollars now in 7 years, you will see a return on that by reducing the cost of substance abuse intervention, incarceration, and mental health crisis intervention.
That was perfect.
That's
That was exactly
correct.
fine.
Thank you. Thank you.
So right now, we're just going to pass it around to the commissioners. If you had any questions, Tiffany, you arrived perfect. That was literally the first presentation, so. And on the first slide too, so. Thanks.
Sorry, I was late, go ahead.
We're just glad
I have a
you.
question.
Yeah, Nancy, go ahead.
I noted that you serve 300 youth a year in 5 counties. How many are in the Lacey boundaries? Are you able to say that?
83.
83. I might have missed that.
It was, yeah, it was up there, and those are all in the, specifically for this North Thurston Public Schools program that we're looking at. Can you unmute Angelina? She has a question.
Oh, I can do it myself. Here, turn on the camera. Thank you so much for your presentation. I was curious about You mentioned community mentorship, so these one-on-one gatherings. Could you speak a little bit more to where those one-on-one meetings take place and how safety with our vulnerable youth is preserved in those one-on-one encounters?
Sure. That is our community-based program, which is our traditional program that most people know about. And we match children with adults who volunteer, and they go through rigorous national background checks before we even talk to them about the process. And then we do a really strict orientation and training with them about youth safety and where they can and can't go and that type of thing. We also do match support. Every single month, we do phone calls with the child, with the parent, and with the volunteer to ensure that they are following all the safety rules.
Fantastic. And so just to clarify, your funding request is to improve the site-based, bringing the bigs to the littles. Um,
Yes,
and is
yes.
that sounds and should you receive that funding, would you said you had 100 or so on the wait list. Do you, I know it's hard to tell these things, but do you have a sense of how much this might decrease the number of people on the wait list?
Yes, I would say, since the funding that we are requesting is making up for that, we lost funding through OSPI last year. And it funded a person just specifically for North Thurston. So
Mhm.
this funding would help us keep that person and not have to lose her. And she does targeted recruiting every single fall. And she would be able to keep her job, number one, but be able to spend time recruiting at all of the high schools. We like to go there at lunchtime and do tabling to talk to all the high school students. And this is, really important not to lose. We've had a relationship with North Thurston Public Schools for about 25 years. Blake was a big in high school here. So I really would hate to lose this relationship, but should we not get the funding, we would probably decrease the number of schools that we're serving right now. Because we can absorb some of that with some of our other services. But if we were to get the funding, we can stay in all the 5 schools that we serve. We are in all the middle schools right now.
I can tell you
Thank you
firsthand,
so much.
so I was a big, when I was in high school too, a little at Lakes Elementary. This was over 25 years ago. And single family or, single mom, dad was in prison, kid was having outbursts in class, was behind in reading, was behind in math, wasn't doing homework. And then within just 3 months of me going there once a week and hanging out with him at lunchtime and at recess, his grades improved, his outbursts in class went down. He would actually come to me before when he wouldn't want to read in class. And he'd say, "Hey, can we go on the hall? I want to read you a story." And so it really I was able to see firsthand the difference that mentoring does make and what a change it is for these kids. And it's a great opportunity for high schoolers to give back to the community as well.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, next we have the Ole Camp Kitties. Carrie Graff is in person as well. Hi. Carrie.
Okay. Great. Okay, great. Thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to talk with you today. My name is Carrie. I'm with Ollie Camp Kitties. And let's see, do I need to change? Oh, perfect.
I can just, it's a PDF, so I can just roll down as you're speaking. Yeah.
So I did notice an error. It says spay and neuter and basic health services for cats of Olympia's houseless community we started in Olympia, but we absolutely serve Lacey, Tumwater, Olympia. And this project in particular, if we go to the next slide, is focused on Maple Court, which is an enhanced shelter in Lacey. And so this particular project we have is focused on the Maple Court residents. And this kind of arose, this particular project arose out of experiences we've had at Ollie Camp Kitties. We've been around for about 5 years. And we work with folks who are experiencing homelessness and who own cats. We provide a sort of no barrier service to them where we pick up their kitties for spay neuter. We provide basic health care. We meet people where they are at. And we notice that as our clients were moving from encampments and into shelters, there's a lot of retention issues. People really frequently experience challenges moving from outside to inside. And we've noticed that pet ownership is maybe, I don't want to say it's a small but very important part of people's stability as they are moving inside. And so we've started working directly with Maple Court. There's about 107 residents there. And we work with I think it's about 50 cat owners. And so we've been going in, I think we can maybe scroll down to the next slide. So we have been starting a program where we go in regularly. We meet with residents, we do outreach, we provide free spay neuter, which is our kind of core program. So we will drive the cats to clinic to get them fixed, and we keep the kitten population down in the shelter that way. We do free vaccinations. We've also recently started doing a litter program. We realize that for many of our clients, they can't afford litter. They don't have appropriate litter boxes. So I think if we keep scrolling down, okay, that's not anyhow. So we've started providing litter boxes and litter. And then we do this as part of, we're very integrated within the the Lacey Olympia Tumwater service provider community. So we leverage existing veterinary partnerships, spay neuter clinics. We work frequently with Maple Court staff. We are participating in the monthly community advisory committee to learn what people need from us. And then if we could scroll down further, our objectives, as I kind of already discussed, are to make sure that everybody who has a cat there can get their cat fixed for free if they want. That we're really connected with people by doing regular outreach, so we're understanding what folks need. And then we're providing this new litter program with litter and litter boxes. And then so for our budget, you'll see we have 0% administrative costs. We're all volunteer. We're asking for $7,555, all which would go directly to this program. I think the most is to the spay, neuter, vaccinate, but also providing food. And then we're going to do monthly deliveries of pine pellet litter, which is the most affordable, economical litter that we're doing. So yes, thank you so much for your time. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to try to answer those.
It's Carrie. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Carrie? Hi, Angelina.
Hi, thank you so much. I was curious, I appreciated your line by line breakdown of how you would spend this funding. What I'm curious about is if you were to receive partial funding, how would you prioritize these things? Is there an area of all of the work that you're doing that really needs that extra hand up, shall we say?
That is a really good question. I mean, certainly if Lacey had a preference for how we spent the money, we would prioritize that according to your preferences. I would say, I think spay neuter is our core program, but we also have funding coming in from other sources that potentially could be used there. I think it's probably our litter program that is something that we learned from the residents they really needed as we started doing more outreach there, but we don't really have funding for otherwise because it's, a newer part of what we're doing, but it is really client driven. So, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
So many other questions? Oh, thanks, Carrie. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. Okay, great. Next we have, Ground Zero. And Sandra Curry Lewis is in person too. Hi, Sandra.
Sorry. Doing a lot here. Round zero, Sophie, that is one. This one,
Thank you.
here we go. Okay. Okay.
All right, timer's on, yes.
Okay. My name is Sandra. I'm a registered nurse and the founder of Ground Zero Outreach. I'm here presenting this grant requesting to strengthen our current Bridge to Stability program. Next slide. Do we have slides?
They were there. Trying to do the. There we go.
Okay. In the next slides, I'm going to explain a little bit about who we are, our mission, and a bit about the services that we currently provide, who we serve, dive deeper into the Bridge to Stability program, and then what our program is currently lacking and how this grant will strengthen the program and remain sustainable. Slide. Ground Zero Outreach, we're deeply connected to our community. We walk alongside those experiencing homelessness, trauma, addiction, and despair by offering practical support and bringing empathetic services straight to the people who need it the most. We create bridges for people who oftentimes never had ones to begin with. At Ground Zero Outreach, we focus on building trust and implement personalized plans of care for every person that we serve. Some of this, next slide. Some of the services that we bring to the community are essential need items such as hygiene supplies, water, seasonal items, and Narcan. We also help participants connect to primary care, behavioral health, and substance use treatment when they're ready. As an RN-led organization, we focus on medically fragile individuals through intensive case management, helping improve health outcomes while reducing unnecessary reliance on emergency services. Slide. The individuals that we serve mostly are residents of the Jungle Encampment and surrounding encampments. We also have participants that reside at Quinn Street and Union Gospel. We have people living in their cars with pets, and we have individuals who are staying in full trailers. We serve anyone impacted by social determinants of health and seeking our help in Thurston County. Slides. Community partners currently, we are contracted and work closely with God's Land. They are the primary organization that provides intensive case management with an emphasis on supportive housing and employment services. We provide on-site RN support for their medically fragile participants. We also do regular outreach and provide supplies and resources to the encampment with our ARC. We also work closely with Family Support Services, YMCA Shower Program, OLI MAP, St. Vincent de Paul, Joint Animal Services, and Lacey Starbucks, and that's just to name a few. Currently, our Bridge to Stability program already exists, and it includes field-based nursing assessments, nutritional education, vital signs, blood sugar checks, medication education, importance of compliance, emergency wound care, healthcare appointment navigation, and field-based follow-ups. What our current program is lacking. Right now, we provide nursing care and outreach wherever our participants are, often outside and in the rain or in the cold. We do wound care on the ground, health assessments without privacy, and carry our supplies in backpacks. While we make it work, it isn't the level of care that our participants deserve. This mobile medical unit would completely change that. It would provide a safe, private, climate-controlled space where individuals can come inside, sit down, and receive care with dignity. The unit would also allow us to securely store medical supplies, wound care equipment, and hygiene items and outreach materials so they're available when we respond. Most importantly, it creates a trusted, welcoming environment where relationships can continue to grow and where people will feel comfortable receiving healthcare, housing navigation, recovery referrals, and other supportive services. This isn't just a vehicle, it's a mobile access point for healthcare, hope, and stability. This program strengthens our community by bringing healthcare and supportive services directly to the people who are least likely to access it on their own. As the only organization currently providing regular mobile nursing services within the jungle encampment, this grant will strengthen our existing program, improve health outcomes, and reduce unnecessary use of emergency departments, EMS, and other crisis services, while supporting the city's efforts to improve community well-being. Following the grant cycle, Ground Zero Outreach is committed to sustaining the mobile medical unit through diversified funding strategies that include foundational support, community fundraising, individual donors, business sponsorships, and contracted RN and case management services. We'll continue expanding partnerships with organizations that share our mission, allowing us to maximize resources and reduce operating costs. Our goal for this mobile unit is to become a permanent community resource that continues serving Lacey long after the grant period ends. The city's investment provides the foundation for sustainable growth, allowing us to expand services and strengthen community partnerships. The city of Lacey wouldn't simply be funding a vehicle, it would be investing in a sustainable community resource that will continue improving lives long after this grant cycle ends. Thank you.
Thanks, Sandra. We'll open this up to our commission now for any questions. John?
Yeah. Are you involved with behavioral health at all?
We help navigate behavioral health systems, yes,
Okay,
and
so,
linking participants up with with behavioral health
Okay.
services, yes.
very good, thank you.
I wonder, how many RNs are currently working with you guys right now?
Two.
Two, okay. And when you're, going to services, are you finding that people are willing to ask for medical care, or is it something that, you find a little bit apprehensive about?
I think that they are more opted to ask for medical help once they are established a relationship with you.
Yeah.
I think when you're going out there regularly and have taken the time to develop the relationships that I have with individuals and going out on a regular basis and being a regular face and having normal conversations with people, that then they're more, they trust you a little bit more.
And you're an RN?
Yes,
And you're currently using your vehicle,
yes.
Nancy?
Yeah, kudos to you. This is a population that many people are really afraid of. And so, kudos to you for the work that you're doing. In looking at the budget, and it appears to me that it's not terribly realistic for the purchase price of a vehicle doing what you want it to do. What's your source there that you're planning on using?
Well, I've done a bit of research and I think that if we had some sort of retrofitted motorhome or drivable trailer, that it would be that I've looked on Marketplace, you can get refurbished, different things, for $12,000.
Yeah.
And and with the licensing and the fees and all that stuff is in there in the budget, I think that is
Yeah, that's,
reasonable. I mean, I'm not going, if obviously not to go purchase a brand new vehicle that is hot off the lot, with all the dings and whistles. It would just be nice to have a safe place for myself and participants to have a shelter and, like I said, provide care inside. That's not with my back door open right here.
Right.
Angelina, do you have your hand raised? We accidentally lost our panel.
I didn't, but I do. I was
Okay.
curious also, so purchasing a vehicle for this really useful and helpful work that you all are doing, what is the for Ground Zero, what is the liability incursion with operating a vehicle for the nonprofit? Is that umbrellaed under, I think you said God's Land was sort of where you're getting a lot of your structure from?
No,
Okay.
sorry to interrupt you. So,
Please.
so I work alongside God's Land. God's Land is the primary provider in regards to housing, supportive housing services and employment services.
Got
And
it.
they've been working in the jungle for many years. I am contracting in addition to that with them. I have my own personal insurance that we are covered for ourselves. So whether I'm with her or I'm not with her, we're two separate
Okay.
entities. Yeah, yeah.
So, so the liability, then the insurance liability that would fall onto you for
Yes.
this vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. Thank
The
you.
org, the
The
organization.
organization, right, right.
Are you guys, all volunteers, you don't have, are you?
Yes, working to get hopefully paid someday by it, but as of right now, that's what it is. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I don't have any really too many questions about your presentation. It was really well put together. Thank you. But I did want to encourage you to look into intercity transit. They also have buses and not buses, but like vans that
I
they send.
applied
Yeah.
like a year and a half ago
Good.
and hadn't heard anything back.
Check in with Izzy.
Noted.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I just want to put that out there, just
Thank
in
you.
case you don't.
I appreciate it. Well, and like I said, as far as liability, I'm already going out there and doing these services anyway. So this would just give us a safer space, better locations and provide dignity to these participants that are already doing this with us.
Love that. Doing some very important work. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, rebuilding Thurston County together. Sandra? Sandra?
Kathy, rebuilding together Thurston County.
Oh, that was Sandra. I'm sorry. Yes, Kathy, thank you. Hi, Kathy.
I could change my name if it would help. I'm agreeable about
I
it.
feel like you just the way you are. Thank you.
So thank you for having us here today. So
Thank you.
Kathy Johnson from Rebuilding Together Thurston County. And we provide home repairs and ADA modifications to vulnerable low-income homeowners in the community. And the work that we do is life-changing for so many of the people who live with us. Go ahead, please. So we've been around since 2003. And in that time period, we've received 814 applications. We've helped 487 homeowners, and including those homeowners, over 760 people in that time period. And about 16% of the people that we help are homeowners who live in Lacey, which is obviously very important since that's why we're here today. Right? So I wanted to give some examples of some of the work that we've done for homeowners in Lacey. So we've been working with Erica, who low income. She has 2 children in the home. She had some siding issues. She had holes in her floor. She had numerous unsafe outlets. She had some plumbing repairs that needed to be done. And so using Lacey grant funds, we were able to go in and make some very important improvements to her home so that she and her 2 twin boys could live there safely. Next, please. And we had volunteers from St. Michael Parish who came in and helped us paint, which is great. So here's some of our great volunteers. You can see the hole in the floor that she's got there, and then the new flooring that's put in.
Oh,
So just, basic, important needs for her and her family. Next, please. So funding, we receive funding from folks like you. The government partners are so important. We have some fundraisers that we do in the community, including our Build It Breakfast. We get grants from different nonprofit agencies, discounts from suppliers, and most importantly of all, we have a lot of volunteers who partner with us to get the job done. So about 70% of our projects are completed by volunteers. So that way, what we're paying for is the materials and the very skilled contractors that we need for like roofing and electrical and HVAC. Next, please. So another home that we've been currently working on, Paul and Patricia, they live here in Lacey, just off of College Street. They live in the home that Paul grew up in. And he cared for his parents in that home before they passed away. Paul's disabled. They're living on an income of about $1,000 a month. So we have been able to keep Paul and his wife Patricia in that home. We've painted their home, we replaced worn dangerous flooring, we replaced a large broken window. We've put in a handrail so they can safely exit one part of their home. And then we're in the process of replacing their existing wheelchair ramp, which is worn over the time. Next. And some pictures here of our work there. So that's Paul and his dog Shiloh, who's got a lot of personality. Paul does too. And volunteers painting. So we actually had a crew from We Love Olympia who came in and painted for us. And Nick from the city council here was one of those. Next. So another set of homeowners here, Corey and Blaine, both developmentally disabled, living together to share expenses. They lived in an older manufactured home, they had no heat, they were relying on space heaters, which was obviously not safe and not sustainable, and you know, your energy costs for that are obviously much higher. So with a contractor partner, we provided them with a new HVAC unit, and then we had two great brothers who came in and installed flooring throughout the home as volunteers, so we're just paying for the flooring. So huge change and improvement for Corey and Blaine. They were just very thankful and very nice folks. Thanks. So additional homeowners we've served, I won't, you know, go through this, but, you know, we do all sorts of things. You know, we modify bathtubs so people can, you know, climb into them more easily instead of having to do a whole bathroom gut job. The number one need we serve in the community is plumbing, believe it or not. So 1 out of every 4 repairs that we address is plumbing. So whether that's a broken faucet, a leaking pipe, a broken hot water tank, that's the number one need we serve. And that's really important because it prevents mold and mildew in your home. It prevents floor rot. You know, there's a whole bunch of reasons why, you know, plumbing is so important. And we've been into homes where people have literally turned off the water to their home because they had a plumbing leak, they couldn't fix it. And until they found us, they were just bringing in bottled water to their home. Or they turned off faucets in certain rooms and they were just, you know, using other rooms for that. We helped somebody a couple years ago that, you know, they had not used their hot water tank for years because they had some sort of a plumbing leak between the hot water tank through their home. And so they've just been living with cold water for 3 years because that was a choice they made. They couldn't afford to fix it. You know, it was better to preserve their home than to have mold and mildew and rot issues. Next, please. So like I said, the greatest need we serve is plumbing, and then safety, everything from grab bars, secure handrails, fire extinguishers, GFCI outlets so they can safely use their electricity. Motion lights, that's a big need that we're serving nowadays because that way, as they're coming in and out of their home, they have a light that pops on for them. And as well as if someone's coming up to their home, they can see who's coming. So that's very important. And then those fire extinguishers, smoke and CO2 detectors, you know, even when we were dealing with a client that maybe their needs are beyond what we could serve, the home is in really poor shape. You know, at the very least, we always provide the safety equipment, the grab bars, the smoke and CO2 detectors and fire extinguishers, because those hopefully will give them the time they need to get out of their home if there is an emergency. And so that's very critical. And just simple handyman jobs, you know, most of our folks are disabled. They can't climb a ladder. You know, they have limited mobility to bend over and pick up something or do something. And so, you know, cleaning their gutters, they can't do that. They can't get on a ladder. You know, replacing broken light fixtures, you know, just simple things our folks can do for them. And that makes their home much more livable. So how do we change lives and who are we? So we have 8 people in our board of directors. We have contracted employees to keep our price down as far as our overheads for grant writing, financial management, et cetera. And we have a budget this year of almost $700,000, which enables us to help more people in the community. So we're very excited about that. And we're able to do bigger projects for people. So years ago, before we had support from organizations like you know, we did 1 or 2 things for each homeowner. You know, we fixed their hot water tank. We built their wheelchair ramp because we didn't have the funds available to offer more services. And now we're doing it on average about 8 repairs per homeowner. So that could be everything from, you know, replacing water damaged flooring to a plumbing repair, cleaning those gutters, fixing their stairs, providing them with a secure handrail. So that's huge. It's more wraparound services for our homeowners that will help them continue to stay safely in the home and age in place. Next, please. So really important with us is the fact that we can ensure homeowners can safely stay in place and they can age in dignity. We've had folks that we've helped that, you know, maybe their hot water wasn't working, maybe they had holes in their floor, and they didn't feel comfortable inviting family to visit them or even their neighbors to come in and have a cup of coffee or a cookie. And so this has really enabled them to engage more in their community with the folks around them. We prevent homelessness because of living in really untenable, unhealthy dangerous housing conditions by making sure that they've got grab bars, that their flooring is safe. We prevent falls and those resulting health complications, which can be huge. So, you know, this is what we do, and we're very passionate about it. We have over 100 volunteers who regularly volunteer with us, and make these changes happen. We've got some great partners with Ole Fed and Baby Lumber and Lowe's and Home Depot that allow us to make, you know, these changes to the community and help people.
Great,
Questions for
thank
me?
you so much. Yeah, we probably will. Does anybody? No? Nancy?
No,
Oh, I have a question.
Yes.
Are you currently able to serve all the applicants that you receive
From Lacey or as a whole?
from Lacey?
We do.
Good.
So we have only denied one application from someone from Lacey in the last 2 years because the home was in such poor shape that we didn't feel it was appropriate to spend money on it. She needed a new roof, the
Yeah.
siding all needed to go, there was drywall holes, it was very unsafe. So we chose not to help that homeowner.
And generally, how are people connected with your service, right now?
So a lot of people, there's some mobile home parks in Lacey, so once we start helping one homeowner, they're like, everybody around them was like, oh, here you are. So we want to help. So a lot of it's word of mouth when we're working, especially in manufactured home communities. And then we receive referrals from the senior center, any of the senior action members. We sometimes get referrals from contractors because they go out to try to help somebody and realize they can't afford them and that they need more help than that.
Sorry, go ahead. Is the process like I can call you and then I fill out an application, or and is it an online application and then you go out and assess and those things?
Sure. So we have an application. Along with that application, they submit 2 months of bank statements and proof of income, so copies of award letters. We pull to make the tax assessment records to make sure they own their home. The application, they list the 4 top needs they think they need addressed. And then our site inspector goes out and looks at the site to see what the needs are for the homeowner. And then we look at the funding, you know, how much funding do we have in the city of Lacey that we can help this person with? And then, you know, based on where they are in line and how much money we have, et cetera, they get done.
It's great.
Yes.
And do you have a threshold of AMI? Service,
Yes.
30%.
So most of
That
our,
are lower?
yeah, so most of, like the city of Lacey grant, we use the 50%.
50%, okay.
Other types of loans, of grants like Thurston County, they use 60%. CDBG is using 80%. Yeah, we're using 50% here, otherwise it's structured.
Thank you.
Can you remind me what percentage of your clients are Lacey based?
16.
16.
And that's 16 out of 400, you said, right? Yeah.
16%, yeah, so 70 some over since 2003.
Thanks.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your
No,
funding
great, thank
support.
you.
And I was able to give Michelle a brief tour last year of a couple
I'd
homeowners
love to
who
come out and
helped.
check that out sometime.
So we really, you know, you're always welcome for site visits with us. We'd love to show you the work we do.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
All right, all kids win. Kelly?
Yes.
Kelly?
Kelly Wilson.
Kelly Wilson. There's another Kelly on here, but
Kelly
she's
Schuler, yeah.
not here today.
No, she's not.
Okay, one of the Kellys is here.
Yeah, one of the Kellys. I'm flush with Kellys.
Thanks, Kelly.
Great. All right. Well, thanks for inviting us here. All Kids Win has been around since, well, we've been around for 20 years. And we provide weekend food to, do I move this or?
I can move it for you, like, I guess some people were, it says it wasn't forwarding, so I don't know. I've been doing it for
Okay, all
folks.
right. Go ahead and forward. We've been providing weekend food to food insecure students in Thurston County for 20 years. We serve middle schools and high schools in Lacey.
the Thurston County Food Bank has the companion program that serves the elementary schools in Lacey. And we aren't in competition with each other. We actually designed our programs together and we, work side by side, but we aren't in any way connected. We just work in tandem. So this is an example of what goes into our bags for the weekends. And if you want to go ahead and forward. And this is just what one of our students had said about the program. We just in the last 3 years started a scholarship program, so it's an opportunity for us to hear from the kids. They're all anonymous to us. The counselors actually qualify the kids and let us know how many bags of food they need, how many food insecure students they're working with, and our team of volunteers comes and picks up that number of bags and takes them to their school each week. So, we always imagine who we're serving, but it's really nice with the scholarship program. We get to actually hear back from some of the students, and that's our payday. We're all volunteers, and so that's our payday when we get to hear back from them. Go ahead, please. Our vision: hunger never gets in the way of student success. Our mission: to provide weekend food to actively end the cycle of hunger and housing insecurity, one student at a time. We're a 501c3. Provide weekend 100% volunteer manage. I think I already covered that. So go ahead and so this gets more specific on, we serve 180 students in the North Thurston School District, which is about 16% of our program, which is interesting. We were 16% of your program is Lacey. So each bag costs about $10.02. Sometimes it's a little higher, sometimes, well, it hasn't been lower for quite a while. But so when you do the math on that, we're spending $1,800 in the North Thurston School District each year. And I did the math on that. So we're spending $70,200 per school year in the North Thurston School District. So the money that this grant, what we're requesting is just support to purchase food. That's really all we spend money on, except for, we pay a little bit of rent and our, our internet and things like that. But really it's the food. In total, we spend about $10,000 a week on our entire program. But we spend $1,800 a week right here in Lacey. Go ahead and forward. The weekend food bags help students focus on school, and that's really, when we started the program, as moms and grandmas and aunties, we just didn't like the thought of kids not having food on the weekends, because they would get their free breakfast and lunch during the week, but on the weekends often had little or no access to food. So, we wanted them to have food, but then also with the added benefit of then they can just stay focused on school and being a kid and, all those things instead of wondering where they're going to get their food from. And, we've gotten a lot of great feedback over the year from the kids now, but also from the counselors that we work with on the difference that it makes for them. How the bag of food has actually been a tool that they use, and I've heard this from other organizations, of the importance of building a trusting relationship. And the bag of food is when the counselor offers it to a student that they think might, be in a bad situation. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. I'm over. Time up.
How much more did you have left?
That's really it. Just
Okay.
that the counselors have really said that the bag of food is a tool for them to build that trusting relationship, and an opportunity each week when they come to the office to pick up their food, that they get to look them in the eye and have a conversation with them and inquire, because there's, lots of other services and opportunities for them that they can plug them into some of those other programs too.
I seen on the presentation that it said that they have to attend school to be able to get the weekend bag.
Correct.
Tell me about that.
So if they're not there, they can't get their bag.
Do they have to be there all week?
They really, we don't we don't qualify. When we tell the counselors, if there's a student that you think is hungry, we want them to have food. So however, they qualify that, but the counselors, they have a heart for the kids. So if they show up the day the bags are handed out, I don't think they pay attention to if they were there Monday through Friday.
Okay, thank you.
What, are we currently delivering it to all the North Thurston Public Schools, or do you know?
To the high schools and middle schools.
High schools and middle schools, okay.
And then you said the food bank is picking up the elementary schools.
Yeah, they have their Four
Okay.
Kids program and it covers the elementary schools in Olympia, Lacey and Tumwater.
And ECAP. Right?
And
ECAP?
I think, yeah.
Because my grandson gets an ECAP and he gets a bag of food every day.
Great.
Yeah.
Do you guys have like partnerships with like grocery stores and stuff like that right now, or?
The only partnership we have with grocery stores is Grocery Outlet, and they are currently doing a fundraiser for benefit us and the food bank right now. The owner of the Lacey Grocery Outlet is very supportive and engaged in our program. He knows the foods that we use and he watches for deals for us to try and get us the very best price on things. So he helps us keep the price of the bag of food down.
That was actually going to be my one of my question is, we have certainly all been feeling the pinch of inflation of food prices. So I'm curious, how are you all coping with that? Have you been, is what's going into your bags having to change sort of? Yeah, how's that going for you?
Well, we get close to running out of money sometimes, and our community is so generous. I mean, we live off of our community, and we do get some grants, and this grant was one of our larger grants that we got. But I don't know, we consider it a miracle. Like, we'll get to a point like, oh, we're not going to make it past November, and then all of a sudden some things will happen and we have money in our account. That said, it's easy to look ahead and watching the trends of our donations are going down and the price of the food is going up. So it's easy to get caught in that, like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And so we try to not panic because that's not productive. We try to just get into action and see where we can dig up some money.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Well, thank you.
Anybody else? Thanks, Kelly.
All right, thank you.
All right, and then we have South Zone Dance, which looks like they're remote. So if we can pull in Alice. 1 second, Alice, if you're listening. Was
Alice, allow. Alice,
Alice.
you hear us?
Hi, yes, I can hear you. Is
We can
there a
hear
way to come on
you.
camera? Can you?
1 second, Alice, we're gonna pull up your presentation here if you have one. I'm not.
I don't have slides today.
Okay, well, we can just listen to you then, no problem.
Great. Is there a way to come on camera or no?
We're promoting you to a panelist. It just takes a second.
Okay, thank you.
Is there a way we
So,
can view her without her being a panelist?
So Alice, right now, we can't hear you. We're in the process of trying to promote you in as a panelist. If you'll just bear with us for a second.
Here.
She was talking a second ago.
Yeah.
We could not hear.
So if we go to view in the corner, view all the content, maybe we can just see her on there. Up here, can you see?
Okay, Alice, do you have your camera on?
I don't have the option to turn it on. There's no camera button. Oh, there we go. I just see.
Okay, it says you're rejoining as a panelist.
Hello.
We
Hi.
see you.
Yay. Thank you.
Just a second, we're gonna move a couple things around on the screen.
Give you some more time here while we were doing our technical.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay,
All right, you're on.
go ahead.
Hi, my name is Alice Grundon. I am the Executive Director of South Sound Dance Access. I'm sorry not to be there in person with you all today. I'm on vacation, so I am zooming in. We are an arts access organization based in Thurston County, and our mission is to create greater access to dance and movement for people of all ages and all abilities. And so we do that by bringing free or low cost programs into spaces where people are already gathered. So that looks like public schools, senior centers, community centers. And we applied for funding specifically for our Dance in the Schools program. Right now, our Dance in the Schools program serves approximately 1,500 youth a year. And historically, most of those have been in the city of Olympia because of earmarked funds for Olympia. We have served some youth in Lacey, but we haven't had funding that is specific to Lacey. So we applied for funding because we would like to expand our program in the North Thurston district and serve more Lacey schools. We target schools based on factors like the percentage of students that are on free and reduced lunch or whether a school is Title I. And so in doing so, we're able to serve low-income youth who don't have access to things like arts and enrichment programs and extracurricular activities outside of school. And we do our programs primarily during school. There are some that are after school, but we do them primarily during school because we find that that helps address transportation barriers for youth that don't have transportation to and from after school activities. We know that the arts are not just extras, but are in fact quite essential to mental health. And so you heard earlier from some other folks about the crisis that we're in right now with youth mental health. And we really understand our work as being about not just physical health, getting kids up away from screens, moving, but being about mental health. There are a lot of studies that demonstrate the positive impacts of particularly expressive creative movement as a whole, but expressive creative movement like dance. Dance is, of all forms of exercise, releases the most endorphins. And there's even some really cool studies coming out of Australia right now that demonstrate dance as sometimes more effective in treating depression than SSRIs, which is pretty incredible. And so we use a pedagogy called brain compatible dance education. This was developed by a woman named Anne Green Gilbert in Seattle. It's been taught all over the world and is considered kind of the gold standard in like arts integrated dance education happening in public schools. And it's based in developmental science and in neuroscience. So the movement that we're doing with youth is tapping into some base developmental movement patterns that we go through first in utero and then again in our first year of life. When we do those developmental movement patterns as older kids or as adults even, we are building and strengthening our neural processing pathways. We're building and strengthening our sensory integration pathways. So especially with kids on the autism spectrum, we see this be a really positive intervention. It is support I
think we're breaking up.
Hey, Alice, we're losing you. If you could.
Which has been successful at, I think we're at 10 different schools in Thurston County. And we've just been around for the last 4 years. So we're a pretty new organization. it would help us bring that already successful program into schools in Lacey. And we have a number of schools already interested, but it is dependent on funding, and that funding helps us pay primarily to pay our teaching artists for their time there in the schools. And we would serve, I believe it's 3 pretty large elementary schools in Lacey, which would bring our service footprint just inside of Lacey up to 1,700 kids. We run our program for 6 to 8 weeks at a time, which allows us to get to know the kids, develop a positive relationship, and to engage in sequential learning. And then we also do some training with the staff at the schools about ways that they can continue using this pedagogy throughout the year as brain breaks and as opportunities to get their kids moving within school so that they are supporting their learning.
Great, that's perfect, yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect timing, by the way. Thanks, Alice. Thank
So now we'll
you.
start the Q&A section.
I'll start. Alice, thank you for sharing. It was a great presentation and I love what you're doing in the schools. For the 3 schools, if you were to get the funding, have you guys already been in talks that if you were to get funded, you would be able to start services there this next school year? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. And are those going to be middle school, elementary, or high schools?
These will be elementary schools. We
Okay.
do serve middle schools as well, but these ones in Lacey are elementary.
Okay, thank you.
I have a couple things. When you say it's during school, do they bring you in like during enrichment PE or like what does that look like? Or do you
It
guys
is
have?
dependent. Oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, that was it.
It's dependent on the school. So sometimes they bring us in during PE, and sometimes they bring us in during some other period of time that works in their schedule. So sometimes it's like the teacher prep period during a day where there is not PE and we can use the gym, but we can have the kids while their teachers are doing prep, and that ends up being pretty supportive to that. But it's often during PE. It really depends school by school. We work with them to develop the schedule that works best with their schedule and flow.
And you said it's typically like a 6-week program and that's once a week or?
Yeah, we see every classroom in a given school once a week for 6 to 8 weeks. Sometimes it's 8 weeks if the funding is there and the scheduling works out with the school.
Are you part of a dance studio? I'm just curious because.
We grew out of a dance studio, so there's a dance studio in Tumwater, South Sound Dance, that sort of birthed us. We are our own separate nonprofit entity, separate organization, but they provided the funding to get us started, so they are like a business sponsor.
I feel like dance is definitely one of those enrichments that are cost prohibitive in many ways. It's not necessarily the cheapest thing for people to do.
Correct.
And I would just say like, maybe in the future, if you guys are, it's possible to take it outside of the school because I think a lot of the problems with the kids and they get into trouble because they have too much free time.
Yeah.
And they just don't have things to do and it's no fault of their own. It's a lot of it has to do with cost and those types of things, but I'm sure you
Yeah.
probably know those things. Yeah.
Yeah, and we do offer some after school programs when we're able to work with, sometimes it's PTAs. If they run clubs, then we can come in and offer this as like an after school club supported by the PTA. One big problem we see is the schools that can do that are the more resourced schools where the parents have an active PTA, and the more under-resourced schools don't have that. And so that's a bridge we're trying to definitely navigate. And yeah, I appreciate that feedback.
And then, is there a fee associated with the classes?
No, that's why we apply for grant funding, so that it can be 100% free to schools and students and families. We do run some programs that have a low cost. This program, Dance in the Schools, does not.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Alice.
Thank you so much.
Have a great vacation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Schoolie Foundation. Is that right? Yes, it is. Brandon Simmons. Hello. Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Hi.
Hello, thank you. My name is Brandon Simmons, thank you, Chair, council members, commissioners, and community members for allowing us to be here. I'm a former Marine. I have lived experience in a First Indigenous tradition as well in our area. So That's who I am. I'm also the founder and chairman of Schoolie Foundation. As a proud member of the Greater Region Outreach Workers League, or GROW, here in Thurston County, we actually work together to serve our neighbors through Thurston County, and thank you for the opportunity to speak today. For the past year, Schoolie Foundation has proudly operated our Hygiene Havens program here in Thurston County, Olympia area specific. What that is it's a 5-person shower. So we have a mobile shower unit, and we are able to give showers. Previously, over the last 5 years, we were known as Nurture Hope, and through Nurture Hope, we actually have partnerships with St. Benedict Parish and Capital Christian Center as well, to provide showers in the Lacey area. With partnerships, moved us down to Olympia, which we are currently at the Union Gospel Mission every Thursday, provide about 30 showers every week. Along with showers, we also, in Thurston County, we're also in Pierce County. We have partnerships with St. Vincent de Paul, First United Methodist Church, and other resources to the community as well. These partnerships have shown us when organizations work together, we can reach people who might not otherwise receive help. Last year alone, Schoolie Foundation provided over 1,000 showers and gave out 12,000 bags of hope, which are meals that we prepare ourselves directly in encampments, individuals living unsheltered. But those numbers reached much more than services. They represented opportunities to build trust. People often ask why we bring showers to people instead of expecting them to come to us. The answer is simple. Most people face barriers that prevent them from accessing traditional services. Some have limited mobility, some have transportation issues, some actually don't have driver's licenses and aren't able to get more IDs to go to places like the YMCA, or a vehicle to have a gym membership and the funding for that as well. So a lot of times they go without a shower. We've talked to individuals that have gone as long as 6 months without a shower, which is unique to think most of us took a shower today. So instead of expecting people to overcome everyday barriers before receiving help, we bring dignity directly to them. One of the things that makes the Hygiene Havens unique is that we remove barriers instead of creating them. We don't ask someone to prove that they're experiencing homelessness. We don't require any paperwork. We don't ask where they're from. First question we always ask is, do you need a shower? It's a really easy way to break barriers. We provide absolutely everything from the clean underwear, clean socks, and a clean 15-minute shower. So during that time period, they also get a lunch, which we started out last year with doing about 50 lunches. We're about 120 meals in a 4-hour period now, within about 30 to 35 showers. Our program is inclusive. We welcome everyone with dignity and respect. We often become one of the first trusted points of contact for youth in crisis, veterans, families, and individuals experiencing homelessness, people from underserved communities. Once the trust is established, we can help connect them with outstanding services already in the community, right here in Thurston County, including homelessness prevention, behavioral health services, youth programs, housing navigation, employment services, veteran services, and many other community partners. We don't believe in duplicating services. We believe in strengthening the incredible network that already exists by helping people access it. Every shower restores dignity. Every bag of hope provides nourishment. Every conversation creates an opportunity for someone to take the next step towards stability. Our vision is to continue expanding Hygiene Haven so we can reach more neighbors, more encampments, and more people who simply just need someone to meet them where they are. So thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Brandon.
So if you were to get this funding, where in the Lacey area would you be providing that service? Do you have an idea or?
So Peter Cook is our board co-chair here in Thurston County, and he's actually negotiated conversations with the 2 organizations I spoke about earlier. So St. Benedict Parish and Capital Christian Center.
Okay, cool. I love
The
that.
challenge with Capital Christian is how close to the border of Olympia it was. So I
Yeah.
know that that's where we're trying to make sure that we're directly serviced here in the Lacey area.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so there's no past experience, it looks like, with the city of Lacey, based on the application.
So with Nurture Hope there was, but with Schoolie Foundation there was not. And Peter was the president of Nurture Hope, and he's the co-chair for the foundation. So has the experience here.
So potential of 400 people is kind of an estimate. I know it's hard to put a number on that.
It's a challenge in the beginning.
Some of those Lacey clients already being over.
I would imagine.
Yeah, the challenge with the estimating numbers is building the trust. So we have people over in Union Gospel that will literally watch people coming in and out of showers and still don't have that I can take a shower today feeling. And so until we break those barriers down, the numbers will start small and then grow really rapidly because those trust barriers are built.
Sorry, I was actually looking at
Is it all volunteer?
So we have our driver is paid because they have to be able to pick up the vehicle. Currently, we have a parking place in Lacey actually, and we have our main parking garage in Puyallup area. So we actually have multiple vehicles. So we have our own tiny home village in Pierce County. We have 2 thrift stores. The Olympia thrift store is our thrift store. We have our food bank in both locations. We have the tiny home village that's in Pierce County. We have a medical hospital on wheels that was donated by CareNet. So we have a lot of resources that we've built in Pierce County that we're trying to bring down to Thurston County. And with that is trying to expand how we can do that.
I feel like I saw a schoolie thrift like in Spokane or something like that.
I'm from Spokane, so we'll be opening up over there.
Okay, yeah.
So Schoolie is a bus converted to a tiny home. So essentially what I've done, I'm the #1 builder in 5 states for tiny homes. So I've built buses that travel all over the United States, run on solar, run on with water replenishment. We actually have a bus called the Empowerment Bus, has a 300-gallon water tank and refilters the water after every shower. So we can literally park in Safeway parking lot, give people 6 showers and drive off, it runs off of solar. So I don't have to use, like in Pierce County, we use fire hydrants. We have a permit to drive up to a fire hydrant, 220-gallon water tank, take a shower, it's 400-gallon gray water, and we can drive off anywhere. With the Empowerment Bus, it literally has 2 barber stations inside. So first of its kind though, so it's fit to engineer.
That's something to be proud of. I
It's
love
been
tiny
fun.
home, I love tiny home billing, so, yeah,
It's
that's
been
cool.
fun, yeah, it literally, so it has, the filtration system was designed with reverse osmosis and infrared and a lot of things for that, but that's the Empowerment Bus, once that one's finalized. Building it's been 100% volunteer built, so it's taken a little bit longer than we like. But it's a 1985 city bus that was converted to an RV that's been now converted to a shower bus, and it has 4 inches of spray foam, so the weather is pretty good in there.
Wow. Crafty for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Oh.
Looks like.
Move to Lisa.
Mm.
Yeah, we can do that after. Ask.
Okay. Great. All right, Godland. Thank you. Hi. And our speaker, sorry, I lost my paper.
I think these guys are all friends sitting out here, aren't they? You work
Yeah.
together, don't you? Yeah.
We partner with Ground Zero and we also contract them to provide RN services. I did want to state, they came up here, gave their presentation, because for advocate first and foremost, also founder and intensive case manager, but we started out in a mobile unit providing intensive case management services to the jungle encampment. We built a caseload of 110 people. It allowed us to have that connection. And we built the unit for $8,500. It was covered under general liability insurance, which is about $880 a year, 1 million coverage, as long as you're not transporting anybody. And then of course, like however much, malpractice insurance you want to cover. So I do just want to say that that is realistic. And if you want to go to our website, you can actually view our mobile unit. And so you'll be able to kind of see it. We don't have the mobile unit anymore. Now we're brick and mortar, but
Great.
yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So you guys did have a PowerPoint, right?
Yeah, we have a PowerPoint.
You see it here? I can't tell which one.
Yeah, it popped up earlier.
Is this it?
No, it had a photo of the front of the jungle encampment on it, and it had our free logo.
Oh, yours is a PDF, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, is that?
No, that's no problem.
Okay.
I just gotta look somewhere else, right here.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
Okay, so I need to share that.
So what was your name?
It's Ray or Rihanna, whichever one you want.
Thank you.
Yes. Sorry, I am a little bit nervous. I don't normally.
Okay.
Yes.
No, totally fine.
We'll all just.
So I'll just scroll down. I'll just like
Yeah.
drag it down as you're talking. Okay,
Okay.
so here's the cover page.
Yes, that's a outreach that we did about a year ago.
Okay.
So
Whoops, sorry.
God's Land is a federally recognized church. However, within our church, we have a Medicaid sector. So we are Medicaid, and we are also contracted with managed care organization WellPoint Inc. to offer foundational community supports. That's FCS, and that's supportive housing and supportive employment. Today was the day the TAP funds open.
I love when it's new.
Yeah, you know. And so our mission statement, I just want to get out there. We're open to all spiritual people or non-religious individuals. We absolutely do not discriminate in our services. We're universalist. So scroll down. Foundational community supports, supportive housing. We primarily serve the jungle encampment. Have a caseload of about 110 people. Currently, we're small. I'm the only case manager. We have contracted RN case management services, and then we have a site connection. We've served the jungle encampment for 2.5 years, 2 years, 6 months. Before that, I served the jungle encampment with Owen Mutual Aid Partners. We've housed about 33 people. Those are some photos, people's furnishing their apartment. It's fun. We also do supported employment. We offer basically opportunities for people to meet the ABA-WD work requirements to still get their food benefits and stuff. We have a partnership with Vallejo, Franz Anderson, that also does it. All this is going to get into so our grant proposal, you can kind of just keep scrolling. Those are just a few photos, some of the stuff that we've done. So what does supported employment mean to us? Greater independence, improved quality of life, better mental health, skill development, long-term job retention, inclusive workplaces, customized support, career growth, all of that stuff. FCS allows us to continue to support individuals after they're housed. So we house individuals from places not meant for human habitation all the way into housing and continue to provide assistance to them after they're housed. We haven't had a single person relapse into houselessness yet out of the 33 individuals that we've housed. So what does this mean? It means after we've housed the individuals, we want to help them with employment because FCS is supportive housing and supportive employment. So basically the grant that we're proposing is pathways to self-employment and economic independence. I personally am founder of God's Land, signed us up to be Medicaid service providers and everything. I have lived experience. I understand how difficult it is to navigate the system. And I also understand how empowering self-employment is and how it opens up and bridges a huge gap for people that maybe they don't do well in standard employment. Basically, summary, we want to put 10 people, get $2,500 a piece to start their own businesses. FCS helps them with sustaining those businesses. And yeah, so
this funding would be utilized to help clients that are currently enrolled in FCS be able to start their own businesses to help with self-sufficiency.
yes, thank you for coming in with the assist. And
you did really well.
Those are some art that our people have done. Somebody actually made that on a bike rim, a wreath, and they used to make planters and art after that was made by somebody who's housed. And like, our people are so talented. Like, we have people that do amazing music. We have people that do amazing art. We have people that want to get online. It's very difficult to start back over once you've lived in the jungle. We've housed people that have been houseless for 20 years. And it takes a really long time to get your feet back under you.
So with that $2,500, do you guys, if you're gonna, that's how much you would like to give towards each person that you'll be writing that to?
Yeah.
Are you asking them to come with you with business proposals, plans,
Yeah,
like?
so the way we would do it is it would go to individuals who, like, we've already helped with the supportive housing. And we already have people that talk to us all the time about this, what I wanna do, this, how I wanna start my business. And, so our FCS, you know, myself, employment case manager would help them with filing all the needed paperwork. And then it would work similar to how the TAP funds are distributed, like we would work as kind of like the payee. So the funding would not go directly to the participants, it would remain in our possession. So if they were like, hey, I need to get me like a virtual mailbox because you cannot run a business out of a HUD address. Or if like, I need to get me internet so that I can, you know, do this, I wanna make some business cards. Or like if they're trying to start a landscaping business or something like that, or it's like, I need to get my, exactly, building the, yeah, all the things that it is that they need. My goal is that someone would look at this, it would be successful as a pilot program, and that maybe one day, similar to how there is FCS TAP with the supportive housing, there would be an FCS supported employment funding cycle as well.
That'd be amazing.
I don't know if that would
It's
ever
a great
happen,
idea.
but
It's wishful
I
thinking.
think that would be, yeah, it's wishful thinking, but I think it would.
Wishful thinking right now, sure.
We need wishful thinking, exactly.
Yeah. So out of those 10 clients, are they here in the city of Lacey?
They are at the PSH properties pretty much, so that is in, but, you know, their businesses would be operating probably out of like Olympia, Lacey, wherever it was that they wanted to operate out of. I think the majority of the PSH properties are, so there's Drexel House, DeVoe 1, DeVoe 2.
Oh, it's those properties.
Fleetwood.
Okay.
Yeah, because Fleetwood, Lotus Court, Unity Commons, Billy Frank Jr., and then of course, Quinn Street and Franz Anderson.
What about Maple Court?
Maple Court, yeah.
Okay,
Maple
I'm just
Court,
making sure you
yeah.
put that in there.
Yeah, you're like, don't leave out Maple Court, that's the one I'm.
No, I mean, it's in Lacey, so I'm
Yeah.
just trying to help you out.
Yeah, we do, we are contracting, not contracting, we are working a lot more with, obviously the encampment closure. So we do have a lot of individuals that we are coordinating care, that's the best word, with obviously like, you know, Kim and Aspen and Oscar and them from the city of Elizabeth House's response team. And so there will be a lot of participants going to potentially Maple Court, that.
That might be.
So basically the chain would be like, okay, they're in an encampment. You reach out and offer them services, you get them out of the encampment, get them back on their feet, and then at that point, they start thinking about what they're gonna do with their future, and that's where this part comes in?
Yes, yeah, and we already do all the first part.
Yes.
And so we're at the part, and we already help people with the business aspect side. It just would be really cool to be able to offer people,
Some startup costs.
right? Capital, is that what that word
Some
is?
startup costs.
Yeah, like startup costs, yeah, where it's like, and I think that it would be, yeah, I don't know.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
50.
Your enthusiasm is contagious.
Heck yeah.
Okay, Rand, thank you.
You did great.
That's my cute.
Get by.
Do we want to keep going or did you want to?
We're just gonna take a quick 10-minute break, everybody. Sorry, we'll be really quick, but maybe 5 minutes or so. Just need to use the restroom. It's okay.
I'm gonna get my glasses on.
I appreciate that.
Sure, what time are we gonna start again?
We'll reconvene at 4:47.
5 minutes, okay.
5 minutes, thanks.
Sounds good, thank you.
Right at the corner there. You know what I did? You know, the whole firewall thing? I put the file on my work area.
Firewall?
And I can't get to it on this. So, I'm just doing hard copies and I'll just transfer the information. It's helpful.
See who else did I put? Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's all to take in.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
I will.
Angelina, are you here? Thank you. Let's see, we can bring in Brandon Brawley with the Institute for Therapeutic Renewal.
Is this another online one?
Yep.
Hey Brandon, we're in the process of promoting you as a panelist so that you can talk and we can see you.
Can you guys hear me?
We can see you and we can hear you.
All right, you're on.
All right, you guys, I want to, initially, I want to apologize for being online and just things get mixed up a little bit. But good evening. I want to thank everyone for my opportunity to speak. My name is Brandon Frawley. I am a licensed mental health counselor associate, psychology associate. I am the founder of the Institute, and I am pursuing my PhD in psychology. So it's kind of coincidental that this is my first presentation, being that it's in Lacey. So the journey to my behavioral health began here in Lacey as a work study at the Lacey Veteran Service Hub. And that opportunity changed my life. Since then, I have earned a master's degree, obtained my clinical license, and dedicated my career to servicing veterans and individuals experiencing serious mental illness, trauma, suicidal thoughts, and substance abuse challenges. And I've been using that, treating that through evidence-based practices. The experiences inspired me to create the Institute. And the vision is simple. It's to provide timely evidence-based behavioral health services that empower individuals to build resilience, improve their quality of life, and prevent crises before they happen. And the goal isn't to compete with all the outstanding services that are already there in Lacey. Our goal is more to complement them in a way and not duplicate them. So by working alongside existing providers, I feel that we can fill service gaps and expand access to care. So the city's investment will help us provide behavioral health screenings, individualized treatment plans, suicide prevention services, and connections to community resources for those who might otherwise go without. Lacey opened the door for me years ago. So today I'm asking you to help us open the same door for others. And so in that, the grant, and if we're awarded it, the Institute will use the funds to immediately implement a structured behavioral health and suicide prevention support program for Lacey and the community members, emphasis on veterans, adult and crises, individuals experiencing behavioral health stressors. And I have that kind of melted down to like a 5-step plan where the program, set up an outreach. We'll finalize referral pathways, outreach materials, screening forms, confidentiality procedures. There's a lot that goes into it. Partnerships with local veteran behavioral health and community resource providers. Then it would move into like a individual screening and intake process. Individuals will receive brief behavioral health screenings, a suicide risk screening when that's appropriate, obviously. Needs assessment and referral planning to determine the appropriate level of support. And the majority of the funding would be spent on direct behavioral health services. So the funds will support short-term evidence-informed services such as individualized sessions, crisis stabilization planning, safety planning, coping skills development, CBT, DBT informed groups, and connects to longer term care if needed for bigger organizations. Case coordination and referral support, assist participants with linkage to community resources, the VA or non-VA services, substance use support, housing related supports, that would just be kind of like a referral. Peer supports, crises resources as appropriate. And finally, the last step would be reporting, documentation, and evaluation. So in practical terms, the $30,000 basically would be used for, the majority of it would be used for like direct service delivery and clinical programming materials, outreach, screening tools, documentation, reporting, administrative support necessary to safely and responsibly operate the program, HIPAA. Goal is not create an open-ended service model, but a focused, accountable program that provides timely behavioral health interventions, that reduces crises escalation, and connects Lacey residents to sustainable ongoing support. Questions?
Yeah. John.
So would you, are your services gonna be provided through the hub?
I think the hub would probably be a good place to start for veterans if I happen to need an office, but I think the hub could be provided, I believe, if specifically for veterans, and then I would have to get a hold of the manager and clear that, weeks before, but it would be a prospect probably for a service organization, absolutely.
Do you have any other prospects of where you're gonna deliver these services to the city of Lacey?
There's a bunch of service organizations, not that I'm so closely partnered with, but I have an office in Chehalis that I could do virtual obviously with, but that would be, I would have to look more into that, because this organization concept was just, I put it together basically in May of 2026 when I realized I'm licensed doing therapy with individuals and they can't come see me because their insurance won't pay for visits. And I'm doing what I love, so it's like I can do this as a nonprofit thing. So
Okay.
so as far as like service organizations, they're out there. I mean, the American Legion, the DAV. My background is in veterans, but I'm sure there's some community support organizations that would be open to hosting such things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Amanda for the South Puget Sound Habitat for Humanity is up next, and she's in person. Amanda not here. It's not here.
All right.
It's not here, Michelle.
Amanda was gonna be in person, but
There is an Amanda in the attendees. I don't know if it is the same Amanda.
Amanda, are you there? I can see if you're there. Oh, there you are. Okay.
Sorry.
I will promote her to panelist.
Second, Amanda.
Promote to panelist, promote to panelist. And then I think Amanda does not have slides.
Hi, yeah, I emailed this morning that I would.
Hi, sorry about that. I couldn't remember if you were, I thought you were in person, but yeah, hi.
Hi, good afternoon.
Thanks for being here.
Yes, thanks for having me, everyone. My name's Amanda Schuyler. I'm the Home Repair Programs Manager at South Puget Sound Habitat for Humanity. We are requesting $30,000 to provide help for up to 15 Lacey residents through our home repair program. Many homeowners in this community are seniors, veterans, people with disabilities, and families living on low incomes. These homeowners often face expensive repairs that they just can't afford. Problems like leaking roofs, unsafe electrical systems, broken plumbing, damaged floors, the need for wheelchair ramps or grab bars can quickly turn a home into an unhealthy or even a dangerous place to live. So that's what our program is here to help with. When these repairs go unfinished, the consequences extend beyond a single household. Homes can continue to deteriorate, neighborhoods decline, emergency services become more expensive, families may eventually be forced to leave their homes. Preventing these outcomes is much less costly than dealing with them after they become a crisis. Habitat for Humanity's home repair program provides a practical solution. Rather than replacing homes, the program helps preserve them and partners with qualified homeowners to complete critical repairs that improve safety, accessibility, energy efficiency, and overall living conditions. These improvements help people remain in their homes while maintaining a stable neighborhood. Funding this program benefits the city as well. First, it preserves affordable housing. Repaired homes are, sorry, every repaired home is one less home that may be lost due to neglect or become unaffordable because of major repair costs. Maintaining existing housing is often significantly less expensive than building new affordable housing from the ground up. It also improves public health and safety. Repairing roofs prevents water damage and mold, fixing electrical systems reduces fire hazards, installing accessibility features help seniors and people with disabilities live safely and independently. These improvements can reduce emergency medical incidents, hospitalizations, and the need for costly public assistance. Investing in home repairs is financially responsible. Every dollar spent on preventative maintenance can save multiple dollars in future emergency repairs, code enforcement, temporary housing, and other public services. Instead of paying for consequences of deteriorating housing, the city can invest in preventing those problems before they occur. Another important advantage is Habitat for Humanity's model. The organization has decades of experience managing construction projects, recruiting volunteers, partnering with local businesses and skilled contractors. Volunteer labor and donated materials help stretch public funding further, allowing each grant dollar to have a greater impact than it might. The home repair program also promotes dignity and partnership. Homeowners are not simply receiving assistance, they work alongside Habitat whenever possible, contribute to the process and some of the cost. They remain invested in maintaining their homes. This approach empowers families while fostering a stronger sense of community responsibility. So imagine an elderly resident who can safely remain in their home they've lived in for decades because a wheelchair ramp has been installed. Imagine a family whose children no longer have to worry about rain leaking through the roof. Imagine a veteran whose home is now safe, accessible, energy efficient. These are not just home repairs. They are investments in people and stability and opportunity. By supporting Habitat for Humanity's home repair program, Lacey can preserve affordable housing, strengthen neighborhoods, improve public safety, use its dollars wisely as a proactive investment that benefits homeowners today while creating stronger communities for the future. In conclusion, I just encourage you to partner with Habitat for Humanity and provide funding for this valuable program. Together, we can ensure that more families have safe, decent, and affordable homes by preserving the ones that they are already currently in. So that is my ask today. Thank you for your time.
Nancy, do you have any?
No, I'm familiar with South Puget Sound Habitat for Humanity.
No.
Thank you for coming in, presenting to us today.
Thank you for having
Do
me.
you have an idea of, was your intention to use the money you're requesting from us to serve Lacey class?
Yeah, so currently I have 138 applicants total, and 12 of them are confirmed in the city limits of Lacey. So I have 12 applicants right now, just waiting for me to get some money to be able to help them. And so this money would very specifically go to those Lacey applicants.
If you have, I know you guys do great work. I'm just curious how the process works because it looks like the last 2 or 3 years, there's been about like maybe 3 or 4 projects done with the money, but like 15 or 12 are requests. How do you go about?
Yes. So we've struggled because most of our applicants right now need new roofs. That is across the board, probably 90%. So trying to be strategic and maybe try and fit in a roof and then a couple smaller projects to kind of get us closer to our goals of how many people we're helping. For various reasons, things have come up that have kind of messed up that plan. Either, we got in there to do the roof that we were planning and it ended up costing a lot more, or the other littler projects didn't get accounted for. We've had a lot of kind of changeover in our staff. So some just kind of internal processes kind of drop the ball on being able to count like who was funded with this money. So things like that, just I knew that coming in this, I was like, oh man, we said we would do 15 residents. Okay, well, we'll get it done. That's the goal. But in all honesty, most of our applicants do need roofs. So we try to fit in one or two with different funding opportunities when we can.
I know the roof is one of the more expensive items. I was just curious if that what looks like that might be the process to help one roof and do a couple other smaller repairs if needed. Angelina, did you have anything? I can't tell if the hand's raised still.
Oh, sorry. No, I didn't. I was curious. So you said you have 138 applicants and 12 of those applicants are in Lacey. Do you to get to the heart of, I think, what other folks are asking, do you have a sense of um okay, so in the same way that we started this evening by talking about how we have like three times the asks for what the funding we have. $30,000 I realize is our cap, but I'm wondering, based on what you've been telling us, is how much do you think the work of those 12 applicants actually is? Cumulatively, I'm just curious.
Yeah, so I was looking at this today, at the 12 applicants, 12, 11, 10, about 8 of them are roofs. So that's well over $30,000. But I was looking at some of the smaller asks. I do have a family of 6 that is a smaller project that they've requested, and a family of 5. And knowing that in the past we haven't hit those kind of numbers of residents that we've been able to help with these funds, I wrote them down to kind of prioritize, a 6-person household, a 5-person household, and then maybe a couple roofs. We might actually get our 15 residents in Lacey. That is our goal. So it just takes some strategy and some planning. And then it's always dependent on who applies and what their needs are, kind of what comes up when we get to the house, when we do our assessments. Those things change. We are very lucky to have other funding sources to kind of help when those extra costs come up. Um, um, but yeah, we definitely won't be able to get all 12 of our current applicants with this funding, but it'll help some.
I lied. I have a question, Amanda. So I'm gonna ask you just like I asked everybody else. Is there an AMI threshold for the clients who get to apply? Because it looks like anybody who applies and gets services through you, this is it's a zero cost. So they do have to pay for the services that they're getting. So that funding that you're getting from us is not free to them. They're paying for it.
So yeah, so our program is 80% AMI or lower, and then dependent on funding, if we were to use funding that had a lower threshold, then we would make that work. And then yes, a portion of the cost, it's kind of a tiered system of, a roof, anything over $8,000, the homeowner does a $2,500 payment. We can break that up over 2 years of monthly payments. It comes out to $107 a month. If we find that that's not something that's manageable, we do waive that. Our goal is to try and kind of get as much investment from the homeowners to at least, feel like they've contributed to their home repairs, but also we don't want them to have to choose between paying us and then buying food. So we definitely have a very flexible how much applicants pay. We do have a tiered system based on the total cost of the project that we try to shoot for, but it's not absolute.
All right, thanks,
I
Amanda.
appreciate that. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great night.
You
Too. Princeton County Inclusion, Samantha. Hi.
Nice, Samantha.
Hello. So, can I use this? I don't.
Oh, no, it's not.
I don't know what happened to it, so I've been kind of doing the timer and the slides, and you have a slideshow, right? Yeah. So let's find that.
I apologize. What was your name?
Samantha.
Samantha. Thank you.
Okay, so this is a PowerPoint,
You have to go to the other side for the PowerPoint.
and then we'll do this. All right. I just gotta do the timer, define the timer. Paul, my timer disappeared. I have sleep.
Yes.
I'll do stop share. See, there it is, but no, why isn't it showing on the? See if it works now.
Is this the share? This is the one.
It's not for your time. Thurston County. It's showing now, just.
Let's try this.
There it is. Thank you. I apologize about that, so. There we go.
Awesome. Okay, well, like I mentioned, I'm Samantha Espinoza. I'm the Executive Director for Thurston County Inclusion. We serve youth 5 to 22 years of age with following the school districts. That looks like kinder through transition. And we serve youth with intellectual and developmental disabilities, as well as those without, for a true inclusion model. We were born out of the Olympia School District by two youth seniors that created this program. And now we are a countywide nonprofit and full-fledged, and we service all of Thurston County, but specifically most of our youth are Lacey and Olympia. All right, next slide. TCI meets youth services priority by providing accessible programming where youth with and without intellectual and developmental disabilities participate together. The need is not just recreation, so we're outside of academic and outside of competitive, we're pure peer supportive connections. It is safe, affordable, and structured connection for youth with and without. And we talk a lot about inclusion for those with disabilities, but it's equally important for those without disabilities. They're learning to use communications that are different from the styles that we normally use on a day-to-day basis. We're adapting our activities, and in general, those are life skills that are beneficial for all those who participate in our programs. And just mentioning, like, we have a different, I'll actually skip to the next slide. So our program model is simple and consistent. Families register, they fill out an intake form, and we find out from our participants what their communication style is. Do they have any elopement needs, such as risk that we need to have one-on-one support or small group support? At our daily events or events, we have youth check-in after this. Register for events, then check in. Participants move into small groups with supports that are needed based off of, again, those intake forms. And then they rotate through inclusive activities that are specifically adapted based off of the youth that we have coming. So no one event particularly looks the same, because if we are adapting for a wheelchair user or someone who's using an ACC device, it's not a one size fits all activity. We truly cater to make it more accessible to the youth's needs. Each program day ends with a closing, attendance tracking, and volunteer recognition, and family updates as needed about how the youth is participating in our activities. Next slide, please. Currently, the grant supports, grant support would both our school year events and free summer camp that happens throughout summer, the 8 weeks, 7 to 8 weeks summer, depending on the school system. TCI expects to serve through our free summer camp programming 185 youth. And then we have 20 school year inclusive events, up to 50 at each school year event. So right now we currently run about 2 to 3 events per month, which typically happen either outside or on the weekend as youth are in school receiving services or just doing their academics. We hit those targets after school and weekends. And then again, that summer camp, especially when the risk is low or the risk is higher because there's less activities for youth in the summer. We have ESY, which is extended school year for those students that do qualify, but they are much limited. And so that's where we step in to provide the opportunity, because like we've heard today, when youth don't have anywhere to go or they're bored, they're isolated, and especially so for youth with and without intellectual disabilities. It's key to have that peer connection. We break our sessions into peer cohorts. So we do K through 5, 6th through 8th, and our 9th grade through 22 years of age. And so each session, whether it runs separate or together, we have them separated so that they can build that peer related cohort and just do things within their own age practice. Next slide. How Thurston County Inclusion listens to adapt rather than using a one-size-fits-all model. Like mentioned earlier, TCI adapts and adjusts programming based on families share, what youth need, and what volunteers observe and what staff see on the day-to-day program. This is how TCI keeps our program accessible, responsive, and inclusive for youth with and without disabilities. This past summer, we're leaning more into our teens know that we need to move outside of a traditional style camp as they're getting older. So we have a travel style camp where we travel throughout the city, visiting and practicing life skills and working with our peers in just everyday environments, because we know that when practice happens every day, they're better for it. So my time's up, but yes.
Was there anything else important you want to share?
No, I think I kind of squeezed it all in there.
You did good. And it looks like you're located in the city of Blaze.
So we don't have a home. Our mailing address is in Tumwater, but we
The project address where you want to implement this for the city is going to be in the city of Lacey.
yes, I think that's our summer camp location now, is at 7075.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yep. So that right now is through the Faith Lutheran Community Center, which is primarily where we hold our monthly STEM events and currently where we hold our summers event right now. And so we expect to continue our partnership with them throughout this course of events. We do hit other rural markers out of our 2 to 3 events, but because our opportunities to serve those communities are less, our focus here is in Lacey.
And as far as the direct program costs that you have listed on here, what exactly will that entail? Like what kind of program costs?
Like what we put in the grant, you're
Yep,
saying?
mhm.
Yes.
In your
So
question there.
venue costs and supplies are the
Okay.
needs that we have, and to build those things. And so we are already running this. So if there is limited or lesser than allocated requests, we would just simply adjust as needed. The venues, working to secure it in other ways and through other grant partnerships or other possibilities of that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Questions? All right, thank you,
Thank you so much.
Samantha.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, we have the Strophy Foundation. Rhonda. Hi.
You did have slides, right? Yes. Yes. A PowerPoint. Here it is. Excuse me. All right. And so to change, do I just click the big middle?
We'll just do it for you up here.
Oh.
Yep, just give us the doop. Yeah, because
Gotta take
apparently
good
that
at it.
one doesn't work yet. Thank you.
All right, well, we can go to the next slide. Oh, well, I'm Rhonda Rosenloff. I'm the secretary of the Strophy Foundation, and Becky Carver, our president, is also here with us. So the Strophy Foundation, basically, we financially support the therapeutic courts of Thurston County.
And we've been supporting and partnering with them for over 20 years. So what we do is we fill the funding gaps that are not covered by public programs or insurance. We remove the barriers that threaten individuals, participants in the court programs, their recovery and stability. We support the participants on their path to employment, housing, and family reunification. We strengthen the therapeutic courts through community partnership and public support. So next slide. So how the funding is used. The funding, 100% of the grant funding, if we were to receive any, goes directly to the participants. We would, the funding would be used for transportation, which would be for treatment and court and work, for housing stability, rental assistance in recovery housing and deposits to move into those housing, childcare, which would enable parents to focus on recovery, work, and their court responsibilities. Education, we pay for fees, books, training, and licensing. Employment needs, we provide funding for work clothes, tools, and job readiness. And treatment and recovery support for treatment-related costs and compliance needs. Next page, or next page, next slide. So who are the therapeutic courts? So the therapeutic courts is comprised of 4 basic areas. The drug DUI court, which is actually at the superior court level, and it helps participant maintain recovery while securing employment and stable housing is how we support those individuals in that DUI drug court program. In the mental health veterans court program, we support their behavioral health treatment and long-term stability. In Thrive, which is the family recovery court. Thrive is actually Safe Babies Court. It needs to be down below, sorry. Family recovery court, we help parents with reunification and safely reunifying with their children. And the Safe Babies Court, which is now named Thrive, we support young families during their recovery and early childhood with their children. So the next slide. So we've been partnered with the therapeutic courts for, say, over 20 years. And we expect to directly assist over 100 Lacey residents and participants in the program in the therapeutic courts. The 3 areas that we serve are behavioral health, housing stability, and youth and families between those 4 courts that we were just listed on the previous slide. And 100% of the funds go directly to the participants. So the next slide is actually an individual, a success story. He's a graduate of the drug court program. We, the Strophe Foundation, partnered with Olympia Sober Housing, which has 6 houses all in Lacey and houses 40 individuals. And those individuals are in the mental health, veterans court, DUI, drug, or in the therapeutic court programs. And this is one individual that graduated out of the drug court program. He lives in the Shifting Sands house in Lacey. And he went through equine therapy, education, community resources. He has a very long history of addiction, and he's now has recovered, graduated out of the drug court program, and has earned his college degree and is employed full-time by the college.
What a success story.
Amazing story. It's my 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, that was a nice presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I answer any questions?
I don't have any questions.
I just wanted to get a little more clarification on, it sounds like that's just amazing stories. When you say, support the youth and family court, what does that support look like exactly? Is it,
It's funding for whatever, so the therapeutic courts receive funding, grant money funding, and that funding is it's labeled for very specific things that they can spend that on. And so this Trophy Foundation comes in and helps financially with whatever the courts need that those specific grant funds don't cover. If it's transportation, if it's medical bills, if a parent needs help paying a car insurance bill to maintain insurance on their car so that they can get to work, get the child to daycare. So we fill that gap.
I gotcha.
And do you have like any case managers or peer counselors that work within your foundation to help support those services in the therapeutic courts?
So we are completely volunteers. But
amazing.
But the therapeutic courts themselves have all those positions.
Okay.
And then they reach out to you if they're like, hey, this person needs something, then they just
Exactly.
can't quite finish this bill and.
Yes. Okay.
Any other questions?
That's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Yep, appreciate it. Okay, senior services for South Sound, Rebecca. Hi.
And Rebecca does have slides.
I do have slides today.
Senior circle is right here. Okay, let's see this. Make it big. Okay.
Thank you. I'm Rebecca Hutchinson. I'm the Home Share Program Manager with Senior Services for South Sound. And I'm here today to tell you a little bit about our Home Share program. And so I want to start with just kind of a definition of what a home share is. So a home share is a living arrangement in which a provider offers accommodations to a seeker in exchange for an agreed upon level of support. And that support can be in different forms or combinations depending on what the provider is really looking for. So for example, we might have one provider who's really having trouble making ends meet financially and just needs a financial contribution each month to continue living independently in their home. At the same time, we might have another provider who is doing okay financially, but maybe they need some functional assistance in order to stay safely in their homes and age in place. Some of that functional support could look like housework, meal prep, transportation. Sometimes we see pet care or property maintenance. And those providers are typically willing to reduce or eliminate rent altogether in order for those services to be exchanged by the seeker. And can I get a next slide, please? Thank you, Michelle. So seniors are the fastest growing segment of the homeless population, and our 2024 PIT data supports that claim. Seniors are living on fixed incomes and they're facing skyrocketing rental increases. In fact, I talk to seekers that are applying to our program every day. That's their primary motivation to join the program, is that they can no longer afford the rental increases that they're seeing. At the same time, 78% of non-institutionalized seniors own their own homes, but they often require support to maintain that home, like we discussed earlier. I'll take the next slide, thanks. Average Social Security check last year was just under $2,000 a month. I work with seniors every day that make much, much less than that on Social Security. I often see around $900 a month. The most subsidized senior housing is $1,200 a month. And the average overall rent in Thurston County last year was just under $1,700. If you're living on that fixed income, it's nearly impossible to afford those rents. Average home share rent last year in 2025 was $583 per month. It is one of the most affordable living arrangements available to individuals in our community. And then more generally, it's a very cost-effective way to address the housing crisis in general. Capital takes millions of dollars to build and many years to build, and home share is in this really unique position where we're able to fill empty bedrooms in homes that are not on the market, so we can kind of unlock housing that's not available to the standard renter. So we talked about what a home share was, and we talked about how they can look different from arrangement to arrangement. I also really want to bring home that this program is very unique in that it's mutually beneficial. So we're helping our providers to maintain their home and avoid homelessness, and we're helping our seekers to access safe and affordable housing. And because they're both getting something out of this arrangement, it really lessens that power dynamic that a lot of folks are worried about joining our program, that the provider could ask you to leave.
So onboarding process, we start our onboarding process with background checks. Because we are a senior focused organization, safety is a very high priority for us. So every client that applies gets a Washington State Patrol background check, unless they've lived outside of the state of Washington within the last 7 years, in which case we do a more broad national background check. We also check the sex offender registries, and we require 3 personal references. And then once that client is onboarded and passes that vetting process, we work to really get to know every client very well. That's really the heart of the program, is getting to know our clients. And so we have seekers come into our senior center locations to do extensive interviews with us. We visit all of our providers' homes to do their extensive interviews and to make sure that the home is safe and in good enough condition to connect people. And then if we find 2 folks that we think would be a really good fit, we do connect them and provide them with guides to kind of guide their conversation and hit a lot of points in that conversation of topics that could potentially cause conflict in a living arrangement. It's really our goal to prevent that kind of conflict before it occurs if possible. Once a pair is living together, responsibility of home share staff does not end. So we periodically check in with our clients to see how that arrangement is going. We provide mediation services. We're all trained in mediation through the Dispute Resolution Center if that is requested. We want these living arrangements to have some longevity. And I have seen this work many times. I've had people tell me that home share has saved their lives. It's a really impactful program, and I really appreciate your time listening to me today. Thank you.
Did you do the presentation last year?
I did.
I thought
Yeah.
so.
I was looking like, you look really familiar.
That was a question.
Oh, thank you so much for your time and presentation. I was curious, have you all ever looked into doing any partnerships with some of the other organizations we've heard tonight, like Homes for not Homes First, Rebuilding Together and things like that? Because it seems like folks who are having their houses repaired to make them safer, and that being part of your process, um, it seems like a rich ground for collaboration. And I was curious what you thought about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree. I have assisted clients in filling out applications to Rebuilding Together. We have had providers apply to our program whose homes are not in the condition where it would be safe to connect a seeker with them. And so absolutely, we have looked at Rebuilding Together. We've also helped people fill out applications with Catholic Community Services and their chore program. We also did have a formal MOU with Homes First for a time period where we did fill a senior house and kind of helped mediate issues there. That partnership did end because of funding issues. So yes, we don't have any formal contracted partnerships, but absolutely we work with the other organizations in our community all the time.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
What's like the average time that these living arrangements are? Is it more like just a bridge for people to, save money and then move on, or do you see it like be a more long-term?
Yeah,
solution?
that's a great question, and both of those things are true. So we often have arrangements end because seekers have moved up on the housing lists, and so now they have a place of their own, and so they're going to move
So
on to
it
provider
could be like
home.
that bridge, yeah.
Absolutely, so it can be a great bridge. We also have, our program ran very briefly in 2019 before COVID. And 2 of the matches that were made then are still living together today. And I have several other matches that I've made through the years that are still together. So we have people that we consider a home share arrangement that's been together for 6 months a success. Because it can be a bridge, or it could be a very long lasting arrangement.
It may be in the application, but I haven't read it all. About how many partnerships do you average on a year as an
Partnerships,
organization?
as in matches?
Yes.
Yeah, so we make 12 to 16 matches per year. I would say it's the average is about 12.
Okay.
We just started a rolling metric to see, rather than seeing a 12-month period, January through December, kind of just seeing what we're doing in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
So that's new, and I don't have metrics for you here today, but I absolutely could send them your way.
That's all right. 12 is about the average. That's good enough for me. Okay, thank you,
Thank you so much for
Rebecca.
your time.
Thank
Have a great
you.
day. Thank you, you too.
All right, CYS.
Let's see. Are we doing two for, who's this? Is this?
This is
CYS.
Community
Okay.
Services,
I think together is not here today.
Okay.
Unless
Okay.
they jumped online.
It would be,
I don't know, it says we got high enough.
mine must just be listening.
I thought there was one more person in the room.
There was, but I don't see their name on here, but we
You know,
can
what we can
ask.
do is put it on the table
Yeah.
Okay, I thought about, I envisioned that, but then I didn't know if I could.
and just move your thing over to the side. No, there you go. Perfect.
How, look, how old I am.
Yeah,
It's not on a table.
Yep, there you go.
Got it.
Perfect.
It looks like
I can see it.
I have,
you're going down on the foot on the left-hand side.
Over here by me.
oh,
Yeah.
so their presentation.
It's easier to see it, you know, when you're further away.
I don't know if I'll be able to adjust.
That's okay, just leave.
Well,
that.
we'll just leave it that way, and hopefully it doesn't fall. I just wanted to put it up because there was a couple pictures on there, so, hi, my name is Rhonda. I'm the program director at Haven House. Thank you, first of all, thank you so much for having us. Thank you for being here this late. I know it's late in the evening. And we're just really grateful to get this opportunity to talk to you about the work that we do. Interesting fun fact, I don't know if anyone knows this, but Haven House is just one of the programs with CYS. We've actually been in existence since almost in 1942, 42 years. And the very first Haven House was in Lacey. So it was out when there was just a whole bunch of trees at the end of college. And so we're now in our third location, which we actually started filming our permanent home in 1989. I'm excited to be here because I've been with CYS and started at Haven House 32 years ago. So
Wow.
it's an amazing opportunity to come and kind of talk about the work that we do, and how much impact, that support, you know, we receive from the community. This past year, we did receive funding last year, and I think a third of our participants that we served were Lacey residents, connected to Lacey schools and had families in Lacey. And it's easy to talk about statistics and numbers, and I felt like it was really important instead to really talk about sort of the impact while youth are with us. Working with youth 12 to 17, we're seeing a dramatic increase in families that are unstably housed, where they're having to make really tough decisions and place their kids in shelters versus having them out on the streets, where families are being separated. And with that comes a unique opportunity for us to do a lot of work, not only with the youth that we're serving by meeting their basic needs, but also with their families. So this year, in the last couple of months, I think about a family of 6 where mom is with 4 of the younger siblings in a hotel due to domestic violence, and the 2 older siblings are with us. And we've been able to transport them to school, take them to visit mom, buy groceries so they can all have meals together, so that they can maintain that relationship and stability. And those times of struggles, I can't imagine being a parent and having to make that decision. But these kids are doing remarkably well, and we're working with local agencies. And it looks like they're moving into housing in September. So just as the school year starts. I also like to talk about the aftercare. We do a lot of work while kids are with us, but oftentimes we don't talk about when they leave. And we do aftercare if that's what youth and families request of us. So we talk about 100% of our families or our youth reunified or successfully transitioned to safe housing. And a lot of that was because of the upfront work and then the work that we did afterwards. We don't just leave once youth leave. So recently we had a young woman who was going to North Thurston High School,
and turned 18. And without any family support, we were able to actually move her into a room for rent situation and get McKinney-Vento set up. So she's connected to North Thurston. She'll finish her senior year. And we're still doing work with her, even though she aged out and she's 18. Taking her grocery shopping and teaching her some of those independent living skills. So while the work that we do, with youth and families is impactful, it doesn't stop once they leave.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the important part of when we talk about funding and the support and the extra things that we can do for youth. So I could go on and on, but it's also late and I want to give you an opportunity to ask me any questions that you might have about the work that we're doing, or outcomes or Lacey Youth.
It says that you have residential centers and then there's one in Pierce County and one in Thurston County.
Yeah.
What's the capacity of the Thurston County facility?
Absolutely. So we have a capacity of 12. So we're a 12 bed, 12 to 17.
And it's male and female? Okay.
Male and female.
I always wondered how that worked. You just answered my question though, like how you were able to shelter the youth between that age group without them having to be referred through CPS and stuff. So you answered that question. I appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. And I worked extensively this past year with all of local law enforcement as well, because one of the challenges that I was hearing was that there were a lot of situations where law enforcement was showing up and they were unable to safely remove kids because they couldn't get a hold of CPS or they were waiting on hold. And so we've actually established that they can call us directly and we'll take transfer of custody immediately from officers. So there's no more waiting. They can just bring you and then carry on and get back to keeping us safe.
And usually what is the typical stay rate you're seeing for the youth there? And are you staying full at all times? And is there a wait list?
So 3 questions. Those are great.
I know, I didn't mean to throw them all out here. I just was like, do you want to?
So our, I would say 15 days to 90 days is average. I will be honest and tell you that lack of affordable housing, some of the barriers that we're seeing families and youth experience, youth are with us for a lot longer. We want them to stay stable and connected to their community. We don't want them bouncing to another shelter out of the area. So we could have a youth for potentially up to 6 months, if that's what they need or a family needs in order to reunify safely. And then your second question?
Your bed, you have a 12-bed facility at the Haven House, and how full do you stay?
We stay full, especially if kids are with us for a long period of time. We usually have 2 to 3 beds that kind of rotate. And so if a youth comes in for 15 days and that bed opens up and youth could self-refer into, it's a hope bed, which is funded through OHY, and then they can stay an additional 90 days. So.
Okay. And then is there a wait list?
There is no wait list and we have capacity. We have staff 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So youth can self-refer to us, parents, schools, law enforcement, hospitals.
Well,
Sure. But you don't take seniors.
no.
I know. I was thinking I would just move in. My office is great out there.
And your role is executive director?
I'm the program director.
Program director, okay. And there's a board?
There is board.
Okay.
Yes, there is board. So Community Youth Services has actually been in the community, since 1970. We're the only youth shelter in all of Thurston County, and one of the longest programs, one of the first programs that they had.
They have Rosie's Place downtown over by Pear Blossom Place Shelter, which
So we
is the
have
family shelter.
Yep, we have our young adult shelter for 18 to 24, and then Haven House is 12 to 17.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, CYS is that big, well, I don't know if it's green, so I haven't been out of town in a while.
Yeah.
Derek got it painted, didn't he?
He did. Yes, he painted it. It's very,
Yeah, I
It's green?
It was green. I don't know if you've got it painted it.
It's multiple different colors of sort of green.
Very
Yeah.
trendy now.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
It's in with the downtown Olympia vibe.
Yeah. And we partner, we've got our mental health programs, so we do all of the referrals and sort of generalized assessments of youth when they come in to identify, what it is that they need, medical care, dental care, vision care, and then refer them to additional services.
Great. Any other questions? Awesome, thanks, Rhonda.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thanks for staying too.
Huh?
Thanks for
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have one more person.
Ramon, somebody or other.
Okay.
Is Ramon with Together?
I don't think so. Should I ask them?
Yeah.
Hey, Ramon, are you with Together? We see that you're on there, but you're muted. See, ask to unmute. The two gals that I had were Marilia and Vanessa.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think.
All right, well,
Gonna conclude the
yep,
meeting.
with that, we're gonna go ahead and adjourn today's meeting at 5:44.